I was seriously considering just skipping out on this movie because I just wasn't even a fan of the previous two, so. But it's my job to tell you guys what I think about these things, and you know what? It's another Sony cash grab. I guess if you're looking for something to watch without thinking too much, this movie wouldn't hurt. Look, man, I try to be understanding of these kind of movies. I get it, you know? I know who the audience is. Venom: The Last Dance is just another boring Sony schlop that we've all seen 10,000 times before. And as you can already tell, I'm not really that enthusiastic about this movie. I was honestly yawning throughout the entirety of this film. I just wanted to go to sleep. Heck, the guy next to me was falling asleep. Taking place right after Spider-Man No Way Home, Eddie Brock is still on the run from the military that's chasing after him after the events of part 2. This time the military is involved in studying the symbiotes, trying to understand their nature and figure out where they are coming from, why they are here on Earth, and it turns out it's because they are fleeing, running away, trying to hide from the bigger bad guy. This movie opens up with a CGI cinematic of some guy with a really deep voice that's like chained up or whatever, talking about how he's looking for the codex or whatever the fuck, and he's sending these aliens to Earth in search of Venom and Tom Hardy because apparently they hold the key to unlocking him from his prison. So we spend the majority of this movie just watching Eddie Brock just run, you know, trying to escape away from the military and these aliens that are chasing after him, which are apparently called xenophages. And hey, you know, they look kind of badass. Actually, the design was pretty cool, pretty unique. When they eat someone, it's like a wood chipper just squirting out the back of their head, I guess. Yeah, I'll give him that. The alien designs here are pretty cool, especially with the other like symbiotes or whatever. They looked pretty awesome and their powers are badass. These xenophages are able to track Venom and Tom Hardy whenever they transform. It literally lights up a beacon for these aliens because we get a lot of shots where we're just looking through their eyes and how they're like seeing where Venom is on the map. It was kind of cool, and like what Jeremy Johns put out in his review, it basically sort of acts like whenever Frodo puts on the ring and it just attracts all those motherfuckers that, you know, those ghost things, guys, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't care. I don't fucking care, man. I just want to get through this review because this movie fucking sucked. I was bored. Let's start with the positives here. And to be honest, I think there's only one positive here, and that's the relationship with Venom and Tom Hardy. They're the best part of the movie. Whenever they're bickering, yelling at each other, trying to figure things out and fight crime together, I mean, it's a blast seeing them do shit. And like we all know, Tom Hardy is always a win. That man can do no wrong. Besides his accent just constantly feeling kind of weird in and out throughout this entire movie. If there's one thing they at least managed to get right, it's the friendship between these two guys, because this film really tries to wrap things up and get you in the feels. The production here looks fine. The CGI is the same as the previous two films. It's still unfortunately kind of dark a lot of times. Also, the scene with the horse was pretty badass. I just wish it was longer. Alright, that's enough of the positives. Let's just talk about how terrible this movie is and how none of it makes sense, just like how the previous two films didn't make any sense either. Look, man, I wouldn't have such a big fucking problem with this movie. It was at least funny or entertaining, you know, to some degree, like the Fast and Furious movies. I mean, those movies are garbage, but at least they get me giggling at certain moments. In this movie, I'm laughing at the movie. I'm laughing at how stupid each scene is. I'm laughing at what's happening on screen because nothing makes sense. Characters are just saying things and things are starting to happen. None of it just... I am giggling at the fact that a group of people agreed that this was a solid script, that this was a good movie. We just need to get rid of all the producers at Sony here, because it's clear to me that these guys have no fucking clue how to write a good script. They have no clue what makes a good movie, what makes a good story. Once again, I must reiterate, I don't have a problem with these kind of movies, you know, these 50-60% Rotten Tomatoes type garbage. I enjoy it. I like having a good giggle, a good roller coaster ride just for like an hour or two and then I'm out. The problem with this movie is that I just wasn't giggling. There wasn't a moment throughout this movie where I was genuinely laughing with the movie. This movie feels so goddamn uninspired with so many damn conveniences that just happens left and right. Tom Hardy needs a ride from A to B. coincidentally, there's the horse. Tom Hardy needs another ride. Oh my goodness, there's hipster Reese Ifans. I think that's how you pronounce his name. My goodness, coincidentally, he's just there with his family traveling to Las Vegas. Well, actually through Las Vegas, because they're going to visit Area 51 because I guess his character just wants to go and find UAPs. Venom and Eddie Brock need a place to stay at and clean up. Oh my goodness, Mrs. Chen just so coincidentally appears in Las Vegas. You know, wow, what a fucking coincidence. Yeah, I guess you could call that a spoiler, but who fucking cares? She's only in this movie for like maybe a minute at most, and then she's gone. And she has an interesting scene with Venom that was kind of cool and interesting, but also at the same time, it got me laughing at the movie because someone, once again, someone looked at this script and said, yes, this is what we need in a Venom movie starring Tom Hardy. There is nothing memorable about this movie. Everything here is just so goddamn lame. You'd think the action scenes would be kind of badass with Venom going around fucking eating people with his powers and shit, but no! Nothing here is interesting. Nothing catches the eye. Nothing had me going, oh my God, that's badass and fucking horrifying. No, nothing here. There isn't a single redeemable quality within this movie besides Tom Hardy and Venom. I'm pretty sure you are also just as tired as I am seeing this goddamn garbage schlop that Sony keeps pumping out. If you actually like this movie, I don't think we can be friends because it's clear that you don't watch enough to know what makes a good movie. None of the jokes in this movie fucking lands. I don't give a single shit what you think. Everything here is just so surface level, cliche, boring, stereotypical, everything we've seen done better elsewhere. And oh my fucking God, why is there only one xenophage chasing down Venom and Eddie Brock, even though that thing could probably telekinetically let all its brethren know to come to Earth? Because at the start of this movie, we do see like 10, 20 teleporting, going in search of this fucking codex that's inside Venom. Of course, at the end of this movie, that's when it finally decides to call them all, but damn, holy shit, this movie just pissed me the fuck off. You know, I've been trying to figure out why the Venom movies just feel so familiar and yet uninspired and dated and cliche and just like something we've seen all too many times before, like in early 2000s. And the best analogy that I can come up with is that it vibes a lot with the Michael Bay Transformer movies. It has a similar look, a similar style, a similar everything with the writing too, but it doesn't have that Michael Bay. It doesn't have that Michael Bay twist that we all know and love. But it doesn't have that Michael Bay flavor to it. So yes, this movie basically wraps up the Venom Tom Hardy trilogy that no one's gonna care about in like a couple months from now. There is a end credits scene, but honestly, I don't even give a fuck. I don't care. And neither should you, because it was a waste of time. It doesn't really show you anything other than the baddie, the main baddie from the beginning of the movie that really I don't care. In an attempt to get audiences to care and like and feel for what's happening in this film, it just ends up becoming cringy, cheesy, and not worth my time, not worth anyone's time. Clearly, I do not recommend this movie unless you're just looking for some background noise or you're having a party and you just want to turn something on for people to watch, I guess. Just save your money, dude. Don't waste your time. Don't waste the energy to go and see this in a theater because you're gonna hate yourself like I do right now. Alright, that's enough of me. I'll catch you guys next time.